Drive on Lugnutz.
We are live with the podcast, and just saying that's how I saved Tamriel from vampires.
Okay, what does that have to do with SpaceX?
Well, I guess we should just start
the show. This week, safety recall by Mercedes and Ford's doors are all open. New safety features in the EU brought to you by Mercedes and Cetera. We talk about the Silverado's interior and more. Then we'll have car chat. 400-mile range caddy, which would be amazing if it wasn't for 2025. The Lotus of Kia, Porsche engineer, dies at the age of 90. We look back. And we have the Dacia Century.
Drive on Lugnutz indeed. And as we always say, this is a Purjangers and Wallhangers Media Network presentation of the Lugnutz program. I myself am Matthew Bucarell, the Mat Man, and this is Stephen Bucarell, Big Brother, chewing his bone ever so delicately, is Link Diablo in the background. He is our mascot and hero of time. Don't tell anyone. But we want you to hop over here and tell everyone about pjandwh.com. You'll find the best of all the highlight videos from Let's Play with Your Purjangers every Saturday, Lugnutz every Sunday, and Triforce Podcast every Monday, right here in the all videos. But if you want to watch the whole thing, you'll find them all right here. Triforce Podcast last week was Fuck Left 4 Dead, Portal. And Lugnutz last week was You're Going to Want the Ladder.
Yeah, I still say get the ladder. But up first, we have safety recalls. Eli should... Oh, we have your Tesla story.
Yeah, the Tesla story.
Right.
Tesla's battery supplier says that it made a battery that can last 16 years and 100 million miles. Elon motherfucking Musk, man. Come on now.
Okay, so that's really hard to compete with.
Everybody else is like, we got 200! We got 250! He's like, hey, how about a million?
Cadillac, in a further story, has a story of their 400-mile range Cadillac, but not until 2025. Elon's probably got that now.
Well, I mean, the man just sent 2 people into space for the first time on U.S. soil in decades.
Where's my National Geographic documentary on that?
Yeah, get to it.
Are you editing? Were we doing something?
Look, adequately, though, they did release on Disney Plus the National Geographic on SpaceX, which is all about...
amazing. You should watch it.
All culminates to sending a car. A Tesla.
Oh, yeah. A car into space.
Into space.
It's quite inspirational, especially when he lands the rocket vertically.
It shows you everything, all the hardships and everything that he had to do, which I will not stop talking about Elon because the man has a dream.
What if you have a Mercedes and you have a problem with your seat latch?
Well, I would probably call Mercedes because that's a safety issue.
They have a problem with the seat latch. It will open. It will open on 2011 to 2016 models. No, that's the next story. That's Ford.
Yeah, this one.
Mercedes-Benz is recalling.
It's about 1,300. About 1,300 vehicles. About 2,000.
They're going to replace a seat,
AMGs.
the left rear seat latch. So if you've been having problems, it was Mercedes' fault. And they're going to do it gratis.
It may not be strong enough to withstand certain loads, which that can be a safety issue. They just are not releasing that load.
From which side? If you sit on it too much and it'll break, or if they're putting stuff in the trunk.
Any kind of stress
so they have a Mercedes, so they're shoving money in there.
Yeah. If you shove too much money and it pushes on that seat.
This is my fantasy of people who own Mercedes.
Yeah, the seat back. So in that left rear seat, if it's getting too much money pushed on it, it's going to pop too much stress on the seat latch. So,
but they'll fix it, and then you can.
If your duffel bag of money is too full, then it could pop open, and then if somebody's shooting at your armored proof, because I'm sure.
I think.
I'm sure in this scenario.
I think you're thinking of a movie.
I'm
like
probably
James
thinking of Bad
Bond or
Boys. I'm probably thinking of Bad Boys.
yeah.
Okay.
But let's move
Anyway.
on to Ford because their doors are still opening.
Oh.
This recall, I don't know why they have a.
I was about to say. you
They
said
really got the
Ford.
company wrong, but it says the first word of the story says Ford is recalling 2 million vehicles.
I'm not gonna.
They're recalling the vehicles because the doors keep opening when people are driving.
I'm just
Not
gonna
only
say,
that,
right here.
but they've tried to fix this problem once or twice before.
That is why a Toyota emblem popped up on a Ford story right here. That little emblem right here in the corner.
Yeah.
Right there.
Little red one. Is there a guy who lives in a house that doesn't like them?
Yeah,
You know what?
somebody.
I don't.
He's somebody on top of a hill, but you do
if you
want to
have
get
a
this checked
Ford
out.
year 2011 to 2016, maybe your door will stop actually opening when you drive. If you have a Ford Fiesta, Fusion, Focus, Fusion, C-Max, Mustang, Escape SUV, Transit vans. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, Lincoln MKZ, the MKC SUVs have been model ranging 2011 to 2016. So, if your vehicle's getting a little bit older and you bought it new, you may be affected by this. And it's a possible door latch part that can crack, especially when subjected to high heat. So, if you are more in the Sun Belt states, if you're in the plains, if you're in the
Probably
Arizonas,
be a bigger problem
maybe
there.
you want to get that checked out because you get a lot of heat
And
out there,
it, is
and that'll
getting-
affect it differently.
It's starting to warm up here.
Temperature.
we have to move
That's
on to our
Matt Man's tip for the week because temperature has so much to do with your car. If you gotta know, like especially with diagnosing when a problem it is happening and if temperature is an issue because that could lead to a whole bunch of different other stuff. That's a technical beat, but temperature is an important thing.
Yes, and so is safety. Mercedes is always on the cutting edge. Ha! No, yeah, I'm not giving anything to that.
No,
Mercedes
but-
is always on the cutting edge of safety, and Satira, which if you don't recognize the name, they're a bus company. You've probably ridden in their buses.
Okay.
If you've been in a bus before, I assume everyone's went to school. So it is. It's very difficult when you're driving a large truck. If I'm driving and I'm looking that way, I have to look over the passenger side. You don't always see everything over there. So
very
they came
true.
up with a solution, SRI, or Side Guard Assist. I think I forgot a word. It protects the most vulnerable parts on the road. Say there's someone walking that the truck driver won't see, riding a bike. This will alert them. It first appeared on Mercedes trucks in 2016. Now it is required in Germany and the EU by 2022. It works with radar sensors and cameras. 4 cameras. It'll let you know what's going on with a little light on the dash.
And it's kind of like the two kind of debates is you use radar, cameras, some kind of LiDAR. What is the big thing? So radar, I can tell, I can see that because with radar you can tell that if it's a biker, you know?
Yeah.
If it's a person next to you. That makes sense. Especially
And
adding it in their trucks.
they cannot retrofit this system to an older car. So if you have your 87 Mercedes that you cherish, they're not going to do it. So
That seems a bit
probably have to go through the body of the car.
Yeah.
To put the sensors in the right location, and you just don't have the power capacity.
It's a shame, really.
Yes. But Mercedes also wants your car to talk to other cars. The next up one. There, that one. Yeah.
Ah, okay, the blue one.
Mercedes thinks it's a good idea if your cars talk to each other and the traffic lights.
Absolutely.
Yes. With vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to V to X, which is traffic lights and stuff like that, and a 5G network. First, in 1978, it was first offered an all-wheel drive ABS. That was Mercedes
Right.
that offered it. So they've always been on the cutting technology. Not only do they have a graph down below.
Okay. So we see the different kinds of...
All the infrastructure, and not only that, it works with Waze. They're going to allow you to have Waze on your car. That's a reason to buy a Mercedes.
That's an automaker that listened to their customers. They're like, what do you want? Waze? Fine, we'll put it in the car.
It communicates with traffic lights, road sensors, has warnings, and on the dash to tell you everything you need to know. And it will also... This is a step towards full automation, and it will also talk to BMW, Ford, Volvo, and several other cars.
Now, when I went to UTI, which isn't the urinary tract infection, that's something different. It's a Universal Technical Institute, which I had teachers who worked for Mercedes. One of them used to be the #1 Mercedes-Benz technician in America.
Well,
and he told us about advanced technology that were going into Mercedes, and one of them, he said, this kind of system will be adapted soon, and that was way back in 2008. That he was telling me about this. So Mercedes has been thinking about this all
Generally,
while.
I think the rule is look about Mercedes. I think it's the E-Class, the top of the line Mercedes with all the bells and whistles. That's what's going to be in your car in about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
the trickle down for technology. That's about right.
So rich people buy this shit so I can get it quicker.
Absolutely. That's why you got to have people buying the top models so everything trickles down and we see what works.
Absolutely.
They're the guinea pigs.
Cadillac has this is a new all-electric car that they're making. They claim it'll be fully electric with a 400-mile range. They're going to base all their electric designs off what they call the skateboard design. I think we've all seen that with the wheels and like the battery system and all the engine parts and just one thing, and they just plop the body on top.
Okay, yeah.
That's their idea. It has finished the clay modeling stage, and they thought, you're going to love this. It's not available till 2025.
Oh, Lord help us.
So you're not going to get it anytime soon, and nobody.
That's the guy responsible.
He's the designer.
Director, Brian Smith Paints? Brian Smith Paints.
That's a weird name.
I know. Fucking people.
He should have been.
So you're gonna be able to get like, a sedan. You're gonna be able to get
sedan, all
SUV.
this stuff.
I imagine, you get like a Yukon. That's gonna be a special body.
Oh, this I like. The designer said, with the first picture was his design.
Yeah.
He said, crisp features, blending muscular design with a beautiful surface. Don't you see it?
I think they see the cutting edge, the sharp edges as muscular, the very black, very vented front grille,
and the curves,
very sleek curves, making it beautiful on the side, and having that seamless kind of into the roof windshield.
Mm-hmm.
Very light, little lights, little slits.
Although I don't think the windshield goes back as far as you think. 'Cause I think that's
it's probably just the paint.
It's just black paint.
Yeah, it's probably just the
longer,
for effect there.
But they wouldn't allow him to do that.
Yes, but it does look nice in that picture, I will say.
Absolutely. McLaren is doing something new.
Oh, are they?
3D printed parts. 720S has 3D printed parts from Computer Fluid Dynamics. This is the car they're working on. I think the green stuff is not going to work. You're going to scrape yourself on the road.
That's air. The path of an air
It
molecule.
looks black. There is like it goes here.
Well, it's supposed to be green, but you guys know the green screen by now.
You get it, yeah.
Yeah, that car is not cut in half above us. It's actually a green flowing stream to where you see the blue stuff out there. It's that.
This is the 720S. It uses 3D printed parts. It'll have 800 horsepower with a 4-liter engine, and it has red underglow in the engine. That's one of the pictures. To accent the muscularness of the engine, I guess. The beauty of it.
Besides the
you have to go back and go down.
Yeah, besides the taillights, nothing else on that is red.
There you go. There's some underglow.
It's why do I give white and red?
Doors.
Okay.
Look, let's look at the engine
like
instead of all that shit on the bumper.
White stuff. Okay. Oh wow.
That's the bumper off.
It's like the Batmobile there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
There it is.
Yeah, man.
That is amazing. And this was in Florida.
I'll tell you what. If anybody tells me they're going to pop their trunk, that is better. That is what I better see. All right? I better see that.
That's
I don't
what
see
you
anything
expect
else.
if you buy a McLaren. You see the accent lights on, like, what's up, the doors? Beautiful.
Nice.
Amazing car.
Kind of feel like they should be red. The blue.
You know what?
Superman?
The blue on the interior, the red on the interior, sometimes at night, it's a bit much.
Oh, man.
It's a beautiful engine. Look at
looks
that.
good.
That is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
800 horsepower. But speaking of engines, Chevy has a brand new crate engine that they hope you will love.
Oh, boy.
They're calling this the Performance Crate Engine. It now has 570 horsepower, 540 torques are crammed in there. The current LS7 only has a measly 505 horsepower.
Okay.
Aluminum F-body oil pan.
Squeezed a
Whatever
little
the
bit
hell
more
that
out of that
is.
orange.
And
There you go.
it says a wet sump oil pump. Does that imply that there's also a dry sump oil pump?
Yes. The dry sump oil pump is like what you will find in the Acura NSX, which is essentially there is no oil pan to hold your oil. There's about 12 to 18 drain plugs in the engine that you have to undo systematically to make sure that you undo when you change the oil that you get all of the oil out.
So there's no central oil pit. It's just in the engine.
This little thing right here,
Whereas
but
this
between our
one-
heads right here, this is an oil pan. That is the wet sump system. You have a pump down
That's
there.
where the oil is stored.
It's more.
That's not
It's
in
the
the engine.
traditional kind of oil system in
The
there.
other way sounds very expensive to change.
It is. Acura, yeah, their oil change. It's a lot when you're buying a six-figure car. If you're complaining about an oil change, get another car. But there are benefits to both systems. So if they're getting 570 out of that, that's a decent engine,
Absolutely.
and especially out of a V8, it's impressive. It's nice.
LS472, 570 crate engine for your next project.
Maybe you could even put it in this next vehicle if you wanted to.
Absolutely, because this next vehicle has less than that. This is the all-new Chevy Silverado, and we're going to be doing a comparison of the interiors. But let's talk about that front bumper.
Yeah, they're going very bold on trucks. Like, you've seen Ford, they literally spell their name out on the front grille.
You know what? Ford is short, but Chevrolet is a very long word. If you were to put Ford here and Chevrolet, it would cover us both up.
Yeah.
It's a strong statement. It looks like it belongs in an action movie.
Kind of looks like it's was supposed to be like Optimus Prime's cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Minor Prime?
Yeah, Minor Prime.
Maybe Prime Squared? I don't know. Maybe funny math joke here. That would be good. And, he would be a cousin, like a hillbilly cousin.
This Chevy Silverado has a 6.6 liter V8 engine that produces 401 horsepower.
Nice. Duramax.
64 torques are put in there, and they call it a whisper quiet engine.
They got that Allison transmission that they proudly display right there.
If 464 torques are not enough for you because you're working construction or whatever people do with trucks,
a lot, yeah.
they have a turbo diesel version. That is part of a camera system with 15 cameras for multiple angles for towing.
Maximum towing capacity of 35,500 pounds, which is 54% more.
The turbo diesel has a 6.6 liter V8 engine producing 445 horsepower and 910 torques.
All that you need out of that.
0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds. Probably not towing.
I had another teacher in the diesel classes.
35,000 pound towing capacity.
They loved tugboats because of their diesel motors and how massively
I'm sorry, did
powerful.
you say tugboats?
Yeah. How massively powerful those engines have to be guiding the
Well,
massive
yeah, you have
ships
to
down.
use one or two to move like.
And it's a huge
Everything.
diesel engine.
But it's the only thing you can do. It
'Cause
has
you need that torque that you get.
52% more towing capacity.
Because it's diesel, yeah.
15 cameras. The price ranges from 36,000 to 70,000.
I gotta tell you, like, people with the trucks today, their grandfathers and fathers have to be, like, calling them pussies because we didn't have a camera hooking up the hitch. We didn't have 3 different views. Michael.
It doesn't have. It is 15.
I imagine the guy's name.
It has 15 different views.
And that interior.
So this is where they talk about the interior. Let's see if we can go down or up and see an interior shot.
Will somebody else have a cowboy hat?
I don't. I think that's one of those Australian hats. There's the front of it. That looks less.
It's better than the red. It's
better
dark,
than the other one.
dark colors, so it hides away the
I
ugliness
like that
at night.
one more. They don't have a picture. Well, they said the interior is rather disappointing. So,
Because it's plain. It's an American car.
yes. So I have other American cars that we're going to compare it to. The Ram. That is the Ford.
Oh, let me go to the Ram then. All right, the Ram.
This is the Ram interior.
That's
that
not bad.
Looks like a nice interior.
Yeah, but
this
it's-
is from ramtrucks.com.
Yeah,
I like
but-
the big, gigantic. Looks like not a touch screen. which is
Remember who?
probably good.
Remember who owns them.
No,
remember
it's
who
just-
owns them.
Yeah, I know.
Fiat.
But it looks nice. Would you say it's a nice looking interior?
Yeah, except for the gear
Steering
shifter. That's
wheels.
a dial that people are gonna be like, turn up that jam. Reverse.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Nah, that's
I already
all.
gave you my opinion.
We're
I
gonna
already told
move
you about
on
that.
to our next.
Give us your
picture.
opinion. I just did. Watch
The
the
Chevy
podcast.
Silverado. There you go. See, I did put it in there. I thought of it. This is from Chevy.com. We go down. It should have a picture of the interior. I mean, you're trying to sell the truck. Show me the interior.
No.
Duramax engine. Towing capacity. What the
Say,
hell?
stupid drive mode. Off action. Nope, they don't want you to see it. You
It
gotta
was
set
here when I tested it. There. See? There's the cameras, probably lower.
Well, that's a small camera in
That's
comparison
compared
to
to
that.
the other one. That's really small.
Yeah.
If I was backing something up, I'd prefer the other camera. I
Yeah,
mean, this
because
one-
that is like almost like a Nissan camera.
Yeah.
Very bubbly. Like, ugh, that's
Yeah.
not a very high quality camera that they're
It's
putting
like
in.
it looks like a touchscreen.
There you go.
possibly.
There's
There's
a
the
better look
interior.
at the interior right here in the gallery.
Oh, just click on the next image. You can see it from the front view. That one looks like a much nicer interior than they gave the reporter in the last story.
Yeah, but that's like the luxury
That
model.
looks like if you're going to spend 70,000, that's what it'll look like.
Still, the screen is tiny, man. It's
Yeah.
better. It's probably touchscreen though.
Yeah, which means in the sun it probably won't last.
Yeah. And you got your
Standard Chevy
Controls
buttons
there.
and dials,
Yeah.
and it looks like a Chevy. I don't know what they're
Regular
talking
shifter?
about. It looks
No.
fine.
no.
The seats look nice.
thing
They
down
look like
here.
that looks like some quality leather, I guess. In that portion there.
Yeah, that tiny portion has
Looks fine to
It
me.
may have a decent quality leather there, and then we go to the Ford here.
That one kind of looks more boring than the Chevy. It's kind of
Well, yeah.
the screen's the same size. It's just boring, and
Yeah.
that's boring. So we say this, whatever Texas edition. Texas edition, really? That's a special edition.
It's for Texas.
Sell your.
Apparently, that will do very well in Texas.
Once upon a time, Kia sold a Lotus.
No way.
Who would
Probably in
have thought?
China or Japan, I'm assuming from the front license plate.
It is in the
here.
90s.
Well, South Korea. So
Days
yeah,
of the Miata when that first came out. It has a 1.6 liter engine, 102 horsepower, or 162 because I can't read my writing. Front wheel drive, whereas the Miata, at the same time it came out, it had rear wheel drive, which is very popular nowadays.
next to nothing else on the road, it looks very fast.
Yes, next to nothing, next to trees.
Yeah.
And a camera from a freaking helicopter. Don't you know a follow car?
No. You gotta go helicopter so it looks fast. And set a camera in the road in front.
It does look very 1990s.
Yes.
Very whereas the Miata has sort of gotten better looking in its age.
More modern in the places that it needed.
Even when you look at the older ones,
Yeah.
I kind of like them. Now they're really nice, probably because of what they did with the new one.
So the big problem...
They had sold only, in the entire time of making them, 3,855.
Oh, that's why. Because the Miata was only a third of the price of the Lotus.
Yes.
And not only.
They made 3,000. They sold 900. There's only about 1,000 cars remaining. 1,056.
But then again...
You can find one for
if you're a collector...
You can find one for about 10 grand in decent shape.
Yeah.
Know what you're looking for.
You know a Lotus when you see it.
Yeah.
It has a very distinct shape, but yeah, this one looks very
It
Miata.
looks like it would be fun to drive.
And the fact that Kia...
Yeah,
Got
Kia
it.
sold it. Tried to sell it.
Yeah.
But, with that Miata, you probably can't.
Although, it is a Kia, so it's probably made of plastic and Legos.
Oh, okay. Like the old Kias. Yeah, the old ones were.
So...
They were the car of the people, sort of, but not really.
Which people? On that bombshell.
We go to the motherland.
Yes.
Our motherland. We're
yes,
Romanian.
ours.
Our motherland, not yours.
The Century.
Yes! That's what it says, not what I said.
So, no, we're not German. We're Romanian.
Is the Romanian Dacia? You may remember it from Top Gear, and James May loved the Dacia Sandero. I think this looks a bit too sporty for James.
Ah, I love it. I would take one in an instant. Sponsor me. Hashtag Mammy.
The one thing they did point out that this is longer. This is a prototype. This is longer than the E-Class at 198.5 inches long. So that's a really big car. It's going to be I would imagine it'd be hard to park a big thing like that.
I don't care.
I like a small car that's just slightly lower.
It's from the motherland. Oh, we would love that car. Absolutely.
If it's allowed to be sold in this country or driven in this country with the laws of...
If not, I would still park it in the driveway.
It'd be nice to look at.
Yeah.
124-mile range. This is their electric concept. I think it has a great body style all over. The words
Nice
in the
wide
back
tires. Yeah.
They
Very
light
nice.
up and it's a bit weird, but I like the whole car. It's got great design.
Very interesting, almost sedan hatchback kind of styling with the rear
It does
windshield
look like
there.
that back should lift up and give you all sorts of room.
Little
to put
thing there,
stuff
yeah.
in.
Boop. Pop it up. Like the old Integras. Used to
Yeah.
have a hatchback, but it was a sedan, but it's a hatchback. So that is very interesting, and I would expect none other than Romanian engineering right there.
Yes. Look
So,
for it in
LED lights, all that, electric. I like it.
Look for it in Romania or wherever you can buy it. I don't think they sell them here.
Then again, if you can afford shipping and taxes.
Yes, Subaru is upping the Crosstech. In 2021, Subaru is giving you more power.
Well, Subaru would be fun to do.
Yes, they're going with brand new engine. That's the only thing that they're changing, which probably for the good thing. 2.5 liter engine, 182 horsepower, 176 torques, variable transmission in automatic and manual. The old version only had 152 horsepower. Subaru's still there, trying to get you to where you're going to go. This is what I found interesting. The automatic gets 29 combined miles to the gallon, which is probably what you're going to get. The manual version gets 22.
Yeah.
It used to be the other way around.
That's because of
remember that
computers. In this day and age, that's why with the hypercars you find, and supercars especially, you find that they go with the flappy paddles if you think you can do it. But generally, letting the transmission do it and the
People
computer...
hate those stupid flappy paddles because they never work.
Well, here's the thing. that car and the computer in your car can shift that vehicle more accurately now than your brain can send a signal from your brain to your hand.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it.
And that is the kind of precision level that we're looking at. Whereas that take away from the driving experience now? Now with the flappy paddles, they're trying to accommodate. It's not the same. It's not going to be the same. But if we're looking towards the future, you can't look at something staying the same. You have to look at adapting it to a way that everyone is still going to enjoy the experience that is driving, because that is what brings us together with these, and that's what makes us passionate about these cars. So while you still have to have a love for driving to be an enthusiast in the future, you also have to be willing to change and adapt with what works.
Absolutely.
I will stand off my soapbox now.
You can get one for about $23,000 to start.
There you go.
Sensible car that'll last you a lifetime. That's all you
With
need
a
to buy.
lot of oil leaks.
Now, what's Lamborghini doing?
Well, it looks
We've
like
had enough sensible for today. Looks like they're doing an 809 horsepower roadster.
Let's just get
Whoa!
ridiculous.
Look at that!
Like those taillights.
That's what I expect from Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Man.
Lord.
you
I
thought
like
of
the
it,
front
didn't
end. The front end, I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Absolutely.
And then Spider-Eyes.
It has a 6.5 liter V12 engine. Wow. And
Okay.
orange wheels, or brown, or whatever color that is.
Okay, Spidey.
They have two engines. They have a 785 horsepower standard. Are you okay?
Are we bothering you?
We're bothering the dog.
You can't get comfy on the pillow. Excuse us.
It has a 785 horsepower engine and a 48 horsepower electric engine. It goes from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds with a top speed of 217 miles per hour. There will only be 63 cars available. And how much do you think it would cost if you didn't look?
Oh, I would imagine at least six figures.
$3.7 million
Okay, so I went under, but still.
each.
All right.
It looks like an amazing car.
Yeah.
That really wouldn't be practical for everyday use.
Unless you have
I
stupid...
probably couldn't pick up the groceries.
unless you have stupid money.
Yeah, I don't have stupid money. I don't have any
Yeah.
money.
Like, I'm sure The Rock could afford it.
Oh yeah, he'd look good in it. Is he too big to fit in it?
Yes.
That's what is interesting about actual car reviews. A big person, would he fit?
Yeah.
As opposed to us, which were very Richard Hammond shaped.
That is exactly how an ex of mine, her father, judged on whether it is a good car or not. Can I fit in it? Do I
Okay.
feel comfortable riding it? Because he was
American.
very American.
Very
so
American.
I can't argue with that line of judgment. Like
So,
this guy.
Unfortunately, a legend in the Porsche engineering world, or just in the engineering world, has died at the age of 90.
Oof. Nice run.
Ooh, what a name. Hans Mezgers. Hans somebody.
He's seizing. Somebody get something so he doesn't choke his tongue.
I'm fine. I'm going to try that name again.
We can call him Hans.
Hans Mezger worked for Porsche for 3 decades.
Ooh.
He worked on the air-cooled 911 Boxster Engine 6. The 917
Right there.
Le Mans engine.
Yeah, and that's the engine they're covering with their dirty words. But yeah, man.
Do they have a picture of the engine down below?
Because, I mean, that's especially designing an
He
engine.
joined... No, they don't. He joined Porsche in 1956 directly out of the university.
There you go. I'm saying, just engineering that just legendary engine is just enough to solidify you in history.
His design philosophy was a brilliant one. Build the best sports cars for the road with lasting impressions.
There you go. Lasting impressions, meaning reliability throughout the time. So, absolutely, that's a good
Lasting,
line
that's
of thought.
part of a lasting impression, especially like when you see some of those Porsches, you're like, ooh, I'm going to remember that.
But that just goes down to the German philosophy of making a car, for making it to last, making it for the people, and really putting your all into the design and having a practical mind when you're designing.
I'm glad someone's doing it.
Absolutely.
Not
Well,
better than me.
you know,
I'd never be able to
some
figure that
people
out.
can argue
No, I
with
would.
German engineering what they will. It is still legendary in its own right.
Next, what is the Cayenne doing?
Well, it looks like it's 453 horsepower.
For 2021, returns to V8 precision. The old one was
God.
not V8.
It looks completely different.
It does. It looks,
Oh, wait. No, it looks exactly like every other fucking Porsche ever.
It just looks like an SUV. I don't. It has 435 horsepower, 4-liter V8 engine that will produce 453 horsepower with 457 torques. 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds with a top speed of 168 miles an hour. So your friend that owns the Lambo is going to blow right by you.
Or that guy from last week who has the stupid chip on his car that only lets him go 112.
Yeah. Okay. That's something.
But, I mean, Cayenne, my only problem is that Porsche looks this.
If you have $100,000 to $112,000, you can have one.
Well, I mean, if I had $112, I honestly,
You
I'd
probably
go with-
wouldn't.
I'd
I
go
wouldn't
with
buy this.
I wouldn't buy this, but I would
I'd buy
go
that
with the Porsche.
ridiculous- I'd buy one of those ridiculous Maserati things.
I would
work.
go with the Porsche
It would be
though, because you know why? Very simplistic.
Yeah.
Batman drove a Porsche.
Yeah. Well, and it's
Look up year
Porsche.
one, nerds. Batman drove a Porsche.
okay.
That's how you could trust it, because Batman trusted it.
Yeah.
Are you better than Batman?
I don't think so. Is that the? I believe that's the last story.
That's the last story.
That's all we have.
And we can always end off on Batman.
Yes.
Like the new Batmobile, which has everybody saying that it looks like a Mustang, and it looks very
We
classic.
have fresh comments.
Hey, my buddy Corey Vance, is that the sexy Matman? Why, yes, it is. Thank you very much, Corey.
Clearly, you're a bit blind.
So,
We won't hold that against you.
but I am liking that the concept designs that leak from the new Batmobile, especially pulling from, you really see Mustang vibes from that, and that's why Porsche, Mustang, Batman's a car guy.
Yeah. Many people.
I would say he's the ultimate car guy of the week.
Sure.
If I had to give that title out, I'd give it to
If
Bruce
we'll
Wayne.
give it to Bruce Wayne,
Batman.
Feel
Batman.
free.
Don't say his name.
Batman?
Batman. Yes.
right?
Tip of the hat
Stop
to
by
Batman.
and drop off a bag of money.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, we don't want his loved ones getting killed again.
Yeah.
I mean, if there are any left. But on that bombshell, we would want you to go over to pjnwh.com, where you can find the funniest moment of this podcast, as well as all of our podcasts. Saturday nights, you'll find the brand new series, Let's Play with Your Perjangers, where Big Brother and myself go through the region of the country of Tamriel.
Continent. The
Continent.
world, the continent of Tamriel.
General area
Greymore.
of Tamriel.
Skyrim, Greymore.
in the vicinity of Western Skyrim. But
It's a lot of fun, and we're very
our
funny.
main man, Linky Doodle, Nord Necromancer, the dual wielder, not that guy. He can't dual wield anything. He is going through on a quest to become a vampire, and you can join in too. But we also come here every Sunday night with Lugnutz, and Monday night with the Triforce podcast, where we go over all the latest in geek culture and nerdy news. And as I always promise, this has been a long drawn out goodbye. I'm Matt Bugrell, the Matman, Stephen Bugrell, Big Brother, and our hero of time, Link Diablo, comfortably sitting on the pillow now. And remember, it doesn't matter if you drive a Porsche or a McLaren. Nothing rolls without Lugnutz. We'll see you next time, gang. Bye-bye. Everybody else is like, we got 200. We got
Isn't-
250. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, how about $1 million?
Cadillac.
And pushes on
This is
that
my
seat
fantasy
latch.
of people who own Mercedes.
Yeah, the seat back. So in that left rear seat, if it's getting too much money pushed on it, it's going to pop too much stress on the seat latch. So
But they'll fix it, and then you can.
if your
whatever.
duffel bag of money is too full, then it could pop open, and then if somebody shoots
Visa. Visa. Cuckoo.
Lone Lugnut and Screw.
Lone Wolf and Cub. Lugnut and Screw. No?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine to me. Brought to you by Mercedes and Cetra. You may not know them, but you've ridden in their buses. They're a bus company. That's why they're, it makes sense because they're doing bus tech. Big bus tech. Big trucks. It's now acquired in the EU. I like doing it on my phone and waving my hand like I have a force. When it's clearly the phone.
You mean you don't have force powers?
No. You want to sit in the picture?
Oh, I was gonna be
There you
Mr.
go.
Willman there. For Utrada of Babandbar.
Why?
I'm gonna end it. And it did. That's what happens. Gets cut off. I gotta tell you, that was probably one of my favorite podcasts so far.
It's fantastic.
Podcast number 131, man. But they're gonna go right here and they're gonna click that subscribe button. They're gonna mash that one right up there because that's the best Purgingers and Wallhangers video for you. Right over there, you're gonna find all of the Lugnutz podcast in all of their glory. Drive on.
Vance.